Hi, Mark Roos. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for Spanish Mountain Gold. Thanks for coming to the presentation. Peter Maher, CEO, was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, instead of speaking to you, he's got the flu and he's talking to the big white telephone. So he regrets not being here, but I will go through our presentation and inform you all the great things that are happening to our company. It's an exciting time. Our project's been around for a long time. We had a press release this morning right in the middle of our pit, which was part of our planned pit in our preliminary economic assessment that came out last summer. We had 133 meters at 1.35 grams per ton, and our average grade in our pit resource is 0.44, so it's almost 3 times what our average grade is. So that's pretty significant. We think that the original pit that was put together was done based on a geological interpretation that didn't fully consider that there is quartz veins running into our sedimentary vein hosted deposit, which is going to upgrade our resource quality and the amount of ounces. So let's launch into my presentation here. Before I get into a lot of detail here, some of this information is forward-looking, so consider the information, those cautionary statement you can read through at a later time. This will be on our website soon. So our project, again, has been around for about 40 years. The new management, Peter Maher, CEO, joined the company as a director in 2022. After looking at the 2021 pre-feasibility study, they decided not to go forward with that. They changed out the CEO. Peter stepped in as a new CEO and then kind of redone the project, making it more environmentally friendly, putting in dry stack tailings and increasing the scale and making the economics better. So we have an experienced team. Peter was formerly the Chief Operating Officer for VRIC Mining. You heard in the earlier presentation talking about copper project Los Azules. He was instrumental in getting that project going before he left VRIC Mining. So there he saw there were, in copper, they use flotation circuits to skim off some of the rock that has the metal in it, and he saw an opportunity with this project when he came into, because most of the gold's sitting in pyrite, you can actually use a flotation circuit to reduce some of the rock that you're going to have to process, cut your costs. So that was in our PA that came out last summer, improves the economics of it, and also allowed dry stack tailings to be possible, because the rock that's being rejected is larger scale and free draining, so you don't have to filter press tailings to get dry stack on that part of the rock that's going through the mill. Looking at our current economic model is 3 million ounces being produced over 24 and a half years. And we're currently putting out a proposal looking for a feasibility study, which like a decision to go forward with that in this quarter, hopefully. And hope to have the feasibility study done by the middle of 2027 and have a build decision by the end of 2027. The project itself is in Tier 1 jurisdiction, British Columbia, Caribou Gold District, near Williams Lakes, 2 hours south of Prince George driving. Good infrastructure, you don't have to have there's airports in both places, you can fly into either place. There's lots of mines around there. There's the Mount Poly mine, 20 kilometers west of us. There's Gibraltar, I think it's 50 kilometers northwest of us. And then Osisko Developments has their Caribou Gold Project near Barkerville, which is about 120 kilometers northeast of us. So lots of people that have experience working in mining and have services. Komatsu has a repair shop up in Prince George, I understand. So all those things are there. We also have a power line coming down from Site C, the newest hydroelectric project, which is going to allow us to electrify our mine. So our mine's going to be electrified. Electric trucks are planning on having electric drills, all those things to make it the greenest gold mine in Canada. It's highly undervalued. At $3,900 gold, our PA economic model had a $3.2 billion Canadian after-tax NPV at a 5% discount rate. And our market cap today is like 115 million right now, close of Toronto Stock Exchange. So huge opportunity. BC governments approached Peter in September. Minister Brar basically said, what can we do to help you get this project going off? Williams Lake First Nation chief asked to sign a protocol agreement. We're working on that right now. Most of our casual labor working at our camp is First Nations people, 90% of them. They're all helping with the project. They all want to be part of it. They've even suggested they might want to invest in it. So those are all positive signs. You have a government that's supportive of you, you have a community that's supportive of you, and you have good economic studies. So things are looking forward very positively. And as I mentioned, we had a very good drill core assay come in recently, the press release this morning, and we've been doing some drilling over the last, since started in September. We came up with a new theory on the deposit having these quartz veins going through that were missed in the original drilling. This deposit's been drilled a lot. There's like 260 to 70,000 meters of drilling that's been done on it, and most of the drilling was done completely vertically. And what we've found is there is an orogenic system, we think, coming from the west, where it gone into the cracks in the sediment vein and left all these quartz veins, and that's where the high-grade stuff that we're hitting is. And high grade for us is over a gram per ton. So the average grade, again, in our mineral resource estimate is 0.44. So we're seeing most of these holes are coming in between 0.7 and above 1 gram per ton. It's a huge uplift in the mineral resource, and we'll update our mineral resource once we finish the program. We're also working on some other upsides, which are, we have ore sorting being looked at. The Cisco Developments at the Caribou mine is using it in their flow sheet. So ore sorting basically rejects a bunch of the rock that doesn't have gold in it by using either X-rays or laser or gamma rays to basically pick up signs as to what metals are in the rock, and then you throw the stuff out, don't have to process it further. You get higher production, less capital intensive because you don't need to build as big a mill or have as much equipment grinding, and less tailings to deal with afterwards. Less chemicals being used brings your costs down. So those are upsides we're going to look at when we're working the feasibility study. Ore sorting tests are going on right now with ABH. We hope to have results this quarter coming out. We'll incorporate that into a new mineral resource estimate, which will then feed into a PEA update later on this year. Looking at tailings, the original PFS that was done in 2021 had a tailings dam in it. Well, one of the issues that our board saw at the time and why that project didn't go ahead at that time was that Mount Poly had a tailings dam rupture 7 or 8 years ago. The local community was not too happy about that, so we were concerned about getting it permitted if we had built a tailings dam. So this mine plan has basically dry stack technology in it, and then the flotation circuit I talked about earlier allows these bigger rocks, which are free draining, to be kicked out earlier in the process. You can stack them up and create a receptacle to put the finer grind stuff, which you filter press and put it in there, and then it's done in terraces on the side of the mountain afterwards, free draining with minor amount of water that's left that isn't filter pressed out, and you don't have to worry about tailings dams, ruptures, etc. So we presented that to the local community. Peter Ma went out there in August, and the local community was quite happy about that. They were concerned about having a tailings dam again in their backyard, and you won't be able to see it in Quesnel Lake where people have cottages. So all those things are positive. You got the BC government behind you, local community, supportive, and the economics are looking really good. There's a map. You can see where we are. As I mentioned, electrification is something we have in our plans. You have Site C up in Prince River territory, and there's a power line coming right down the highway. It comes from Prince George down to Williams Lake. We're working with BC Hydro to put a power line that's about 70 kilometers long. It's basically the end of stage 2 of their process. Next step is they start doing engineering, ordering long lead items and that, which will probably start in the second quarter of this year. So this project, you've got gold leverage, you've got almost a 5 million ounce resource with upside. We're moving towards production. We'll have a feasibility study completed in 2027, and we've got these high grade hits going through, and I didn't mention the K zone yet, which was a drill hit we had in the spring of 2025. Highest grade hit in the history of the project was 719 grams per ton. It was only like under a meter width for that, but the whole hole was over 100 meters, average grade of 4.18, which is, hit the top 10 hits in the country, probably in the world, in that quarter. So we were quite excited about that. We're going to go do some more in the K zone before we finish this drill program up. This is January 19th, our capital summary, we have over 500 million shares outstanding. That's because the company's been around a long. We drilled a lot, 270,000 meters, I think, in total to date. But there's lots of information, gives you higher certainty. Our resource in our mineral resource models, 98% measured and indicated, which a lot of companies out there have inferred, but we're much more advanced because we had a pre-feasibility study previously. You can see our stock started lifting when the real results started coming up in December. Obviously, the gold price has gone up, so that's positive as well. This is a board of directors, lots of experience. Lem James is the only guy that really doesn't have any mining experience. He's our largest shareholder, lives in Toronto, formerly owned a frozen foods business, which he sold to the Saputo family, and he's a family office investor. He owns about almost 16 to 17% of our stock, 86 million shares. Continues to buy when there's not blackouts out. Brent Bergeron, he's a corporate affairs senior vice president at Pan American Silver. I worked with him at Goldcorp. I worked there for 10 years. Richard Orzetti, he's formerly with Goldcorp as well. He was CFO for Aris Mining for a couple of years. And Garnet Dawson's got a long history and expert in geology, so has been helping a lot with interpreting the history there. Peter Mall, formerly Chief Operating Officer for McEwen Mining, long history in gold mining. Started as a summer student working at the Lupin Mine in the Northwest Territories, worked there 2 summers underground. Helped discover the MacArthur River discovery in uranium, northwestern Saskatchewan. Shortly had a summer job and went to UBC, got a master's mine engineering, rock mechanics. Worked in mining for his entire career. A great asset to have for the company. I worked for Placer Dome, Goldcorp, and then Kinross before I came here. 25 years in gold mining, senior capacity. Kim LaRue just joined us. She worked with Peter at De Beers Mining and at McEwen Mining. I've been mining for a long time. Great systems and a financial person. And Julia Monko is our director of exploration. Great exploration, history, geochemist, had a consulting business. So lots of positive things going on. I'm open to taking questions. There are a lot more slides. 10 minutes is enough to go through all of them. This will be up on our website if you want to go through that. We have a booth number 732 if you want to ask any questions, getting more further details. I have a pamphlet fact sheet that has a lot of this stuff on it. You can grab a hard copy if you like.